We have people coming from all over the United States, all over the world, coming to Colorado Springs just to see the Garden of the Gods.
The impact has happened over decades of use. We get 1.7 million people in the park each year.
Preservation of the Garden of the Gods is important on a number of levels. First of all, there's a lot of visitors, and also it's an important place for people to learn about geology.
This area was identified along with many other areas in the park as part of an ecological assessment that was done in 2000 and as part of the Garden of the Gods restoration report. So what we're doing is we're helping the city implement the recommendations of that restoration report.
Here's a great example of the heavy hand labor that's required in order to perform the restoration activities. This is about 5 tons of rock that has to be brought in to create this check dam as the first stage of restoring this dry channel, what otherwise is known as an arroyo. Each check dam is then keyed into the sides of the arroyo by digging a small section into the side of the channel, filling it with rock, compacting it, putting the native soil back on top of it. Once the check dam is in place, soil will be brought in, filled up behind the check dam, and then that's when the seeding and overplanting will occur, matting of the area in order to prevent surface erosion from happening, typically jute matting, which will then deteriorate and go away after a number of years, and hoping that Mother Nature helps us out with some moisture so the seed can take, and the restoration is completed.
This project's being done in conjunction with some trail improvements. So the areas where they're improving the trails and doing the trail work, we're taking the native soil from there, bringing it over here, and then using other material actually to surface the trail with.
What we're seeing here is the results of a very, very successful project. And the idea is that the finished product will look similar to this so that if someone happens upon it, they don't know that anything's been done. About 1,700 volunteers came out, led by the Rocky Mountain Field Institute, who's a very valuable partner of ours. Put in an extensive amount of work through this drainage area and filled in what once was a 4 to 5 foot deep arroyo with native materials, and with a little help from Mother Nature, we have native grasses that you will see in any other place of the Garden of the Gods which haven't been impacted by erosion or foot traffic.
We're making some great progress. We have a huge challenge ahead of us, but if we can keep going, we'll see the conditions of the park really improve dramatically.
People are going to be tempted to stray and take a look at that rock formation that's just over that next rise. But we would sure encourage people to please stay on the designated trails. Our volunteers, once they finish that day and they're walking away with the dirt under their fingernails and maybe a little cut or a bruise because they've really put their whole heart into it, they're walking away with a smile on their face because they know they've given back to the park, that they've helped to protect the resource, and actually they've made it better.
Well, I think it changes your whole perspective of the park. When you actually go to work, I think you understand how fragile the park is and how much work it takes to restore these areas.